Thank you, Asaf. It is a pleasure to see you here, talking about such important things. I'm not used to see you so serious. And thank you all for being here today. Tens of thousands attacks are happening at this very moment in Israel. Only a few days ago, a leading Israeli hospital was paralyzed by cyber attack. All of its communications and IT system collapsed. There were serious disruptions in the provision of medical care, and the hospital announced it could not admit new patients. Such attacks on hospitals have occurred in other places and have even cost human lives. We cannot allow such things to happen. The enemy in this war is sometimes invisible and there's no rules. Just think about it. A civilian hospital was attacked in the daylight. In the warfare, the attackers' abilities are constantly increasing. Their motivation and efforts are growing as well. This, along with the fact that we are all dependent so much on communications, increases the chances of a serious and ongoing cybersecurity crisis, a kind of crisis that could cause serious harm and even call into question the operational continuity of all economies and countries. We, in Israel, are committed, as always, to stay step ahead in this battle against potential cyber attackers, to be leaders in this field, and to have the best, most advanced capabilities in the world. One of my main objectives at the Ministry of Communications is to place Israel in leading sport worldwide in cellular network quality and 5G rollout. Since I've become Minister, Israel has increased 40 places in the Ookla ranking, and I intend to lead Israel into the top 10. In this age of the Internet of Things, IoT, the mobile handset and the mobile network become a critical part of our quality of life. Almost every object we use is in some way backed by a mobile network. And of course, it's blessed when you have a few hours without that, without social networks, without mobile phones, but usually we are with that. We are addicted, all of us, and it's part of our life. All the services we will use in the future will be network services, health services, government services, education and employment. They are all becoming teleservices. And this is not a science fiction. It's not only the future, it's the present. An American expert physician can perform a life-saving operation on an Israeli patient. He could stay in Cleveland, Ohio, or in Mount Sinai, and at the same time the patient will be in Rambam or in Tel Shomer in Israel. The roads are filling with automatic cars, and our homes are becoming smart. The age of 5G takes us one step further into the future, to a world of unlimited possibilities, of thousands of innovations and advanced applications. But as the possibilities increases, so the chances of significant cyber attacks. Cyber attacks and their significant costs have clearly demonstrated the need to develop an integrated approach that includes developing advanced capabilities and cooperation between like-minded states, identifying and patching weaknesses before attack occur, and increasing our potential. We cannot win this battle if we want to change our mindset and build a strong and committed ecosystem. Today, more than ever, each of us has a role to play in strengthening our ability to cope with attacks Information sharing in the global community can threaten our collective ability to respond and to anticipate future tactics of cyber criminals. We have recently got another reminder. Microsoft, as you know, has published information that Iranian hackers attempt to attack Israeli and American targets. In attacks that begin this July, they targeted more than 250 accounts of Israeli and American defense technology contractors, systems in the Persian Gulf ports, and shipping companies with a presence in the Middle East. Attacks, however, will not deter us. The hackers tried to harm us, but in fact, they only proved the strong connection between Israel and the United States and our ability to protect ourselves. The importance of cooperation between our countries. From each such attempt, we learn, we develop, and we strengthen our common defense against Iranian threat in all fronts. We are committed to be ready for this battle, to develop offensive capabilities, and to learn a lot, and to understand the enemy in real time. Our transition to the 5G age depends on these capabilities. The operational model I am leading at the Ministry of Communications includes tight cooperation with the National Cyber Directorate to find long-term defensive solutions and to protect our communications infrastructure. There is a need for integration between security agencies, regulators, and the business sector guards in the various markets. Every CEO in every company, every board of directors must know they have a responsibility for cybersecurity in their organization. It's not only the government. Israel will build its next Iron Dome in this sector, not only kinetic but also cybernetic. And the key is cooperation between all those companies and entities. Our current activities are on two main lines. First, regulation that will ensure that communications operators have a strong cyber defense plan in place. Second, safeguards against cyber attacks and development of the monitoring system at the communication side. These groundbreaking systems allow us to deal with a variety of scenarios and provide a high level of protection. I call on you to join our work based on cooperation and trust between regulators, companies, and others. History, and as Asaf mentioned, I'm a historian, not of the modern period and not of the technological revolution, but wars are wars always. And history is full of painful battles. We are currently in a new, unfamiliar type of war. And one of the main fronts is the cyber. The 5G is under that. The 5G economy is at the heart of this struggle. The world of 5G is full of opportunities, and this is very important. And although its main applications are still to be seen, we all know that it will be a huge growth engine in the world economy. In the Cold War, and we are in a Cold War, Israel is committed to trusted networks, first of all because of its own national security interests. Communications infrastructure is sensitive and tends to be the weak link in the cyber war. It is a gate to our markets and to our critical functions. That is why telecommunication ministers and regulators all around the world work together to build the balance between the opportunities we see ahead and the need to manage the risks. That is why I am here meeting with the government, new government in Israel and new government in Washington. And I want to say it loud and clear. 5G services can create a revolution, can develop and strengthen economies, and specifically Israel. Cybersecurity is an appendix. It is not the main goal, but without it, it will be very hard to develop and to create a strong growth, economic growth. We shouldn't allow the threats of attacks to stop us from developing a new uses, international cooperation, long-term planning, defensive capabilities, and trust, prevent cyber traumas, and give our economies the certainty needed to continue to innovate. We should work not based on traumas, but on the success, chances, and hope to create a better world based on technology. I am here to call upon you to act on another matter as well. The 5G is the battle of yesterday, and we are facing the 6G. We must start developing 6G architecture now, not to wait until it will become part of the market. It might sound fantastic, but if we will lead the next revolution, we can diffuse the risks in the 5G world as well. This won't happen by itself. We must provide a system of incentives to the Israeli and American high-tech sector to imagine the future beyond the future and invest a lot in it to ensure innovation and smooth transition to 6G. To have safe and well-managed 6G networks, we must already now to start building working practices in every entity and sector. Practices that include cyber defense and network security, and includes the hope to find ways to change lives of many people and to create a strong society and economy. Israel is a world leader in cybersecurity, as you know, and Asaf mentioned the number, and it's quite amazing. It has many leading cybersecurity firms, and many of the brightest minds in this sector are sitting here proudly. I call all of you to cooperate. That is the only way to win in this war. Together, we will be much stronger than any of our possible attackers, and there will be more and more attacks on the cyber field. Israel has always been and always will be a true friend and partner of the United States. We share the same values, and in this battle, like in others, we will join forces against the common threat, and we will win, and we will develop, and we will do whatever we can in order to use 5G, 6G, and maybe 7G in the close future, in order to use this revolution to make life of people better and better. Thank you very much.
Thank you.